While sitting with an older woman in the dining car one day, she commented that her vacation begins the minute she gets on the train, that the process is a joy rather than a wait. I was able to relate, finding much comfort in the days spent looking out the window and without the responsibilities of life tugging at me. The value of getting away from a ringing telephone can never be overstated.
I got interested in the trains because of my mother. She'd worked on the railroad during World War II and would tell the stories.
The train is a different and romantic experience, tugging at our heartstrings in a way that other forms of transit fail to. Many people develop a bit of a crush on their first train experience, remembering it longingly.
I took the Coast Starlight, and that was actually one of my favorite Christmas trips ever.
I take frequent trips to Chicago, and we've taken trips to Denver and Boston.
It was wonderful. The crew was fabulous. They were helpful, polite. The train was just amazing.
The scenery from a train is a unique spectacle, illuminating preserved pieces of nature, small towns, abandoned decay, mountain passes, and people's backyards. Things that have been seemingly untouched since the 19th century when most of these lines were built.
And you're seeing like things that nobody ever sees, and then you go through a town and it's just weird to see even like a street from the perspective of the cars stopped.
Like it's not following an interstate highway, it's going through all these towns that basically, like, if you didn't have a car, didn't want to drive, that's going to be the only way to get from place to place, from like Havre, Montana to Wolf Point or to Willis in North Dakota and stuff like that. All these really small towns in the upper plains that, like, that's the only service. Like, flying anywhere, it's like there's no major airports in that part of the world.
It's a little scary sometimes, like knowing that you're so far from anything. You're just in the middle of fields or mountains.
One thing I really enjoy about the train is that it's steady, you know, like there's no, like on the bus, you know, acceleration, deceleration, braking here, taking a turn here. On a train, you don't really feel that you're in a vehicle.
And this train has been very comfortable because I was experiencing back trouble on the vacation in the car, and I have not had it since I've been back on the train.
You know, you can sleep if you want, you can read. It's not like, the ride is not going to get in the way of doing something else.
I guess for myself, I look at it as a time to kind of get away from the hectic pace and to slow down a little bit. And again, enjoy the fact of getting from point A to point B.
And like, I've talked to people and I encourage people like to take the train. Like, why don't you take the train down to the Bay Area? And like, how long is it going to take? It's like, it's about 12 to 16 hours. Like, oh, that's too long, I'll fly instead. Like, you know, we need to get there in less than 2 hours. We need to get there in less than 4 hours. Like, why do we need to get there always so fast? Why has this become such an obsession? Why can't the traveling to be part of the experience? And I think that's the thing, is people have gotten to the point where traveling isn't really the experience anymore. It's just a way of getting to point A to point B.
In addition to appreciating the experience, real connections are made on trains. The most extreme example being Bill and Nancy Curran, a couple I ate dinner with on the train who had met on the same line 43 years prior.
And I was going back to the Twin Cities, and I happened to be sitting in the coach with a young boy who was also going to the Twin Cities. He was about 10 years old, and I remember he had a huge lunch. I was kind of envious because I didn't have as much of a lunch as he did.
I was actually stationed in the Air Force at Grand Forks Air Base, and I was headed down to Milwaukee and Chicago.
And I don't know, I decided to go in and maybe get a bite to eat. So I went into the dining car.
And I went into the dining car since I was hungry, and I was told by the steward that there was only one seat left in the dining car. And I said, well, I'm only one person and I have one appetite, so I sat down in that seat, and I happened to be next to my wife of now 40 years. So
he started talking to me, and he mentioned how maybe he could see me on his way back from Chicago, but we never did see each other. The reason we really started seeing each other is he sent me a postcard, and we started corresponding with each other.
It's a little unusual that you would meet someone on a train and then have, you know, a marriage and 3 kids and 5 grandkids, and all because of the train and the dining car.
I think that's what's fun, is meeting people on the train. You don't meet people that much, even on a bus or on an airplane.